What's up guys, it's Lord Botha here with another video, and today's video is actually about Helldivers 2. Now, Helldivers 2 upon release was one of the most popular releases of this year, especially after it caught on in the streaming circuit. However, numerous circumstances have led recently to a decline over time in the amount of Helldivers players. Let's take a look at the charts. As you can see here from its start, Helldivers initially started out at a peak of 458,709 players in the middle of February. That has seen rises and spikes as we go along until after May, when we see a steady decline over time, especially after May 3rd. You can see here, account leaking shenanigans is what they call it on Steam charts. If you're unaware, this is when Sony and the Helldivers 2 developers made it more apparent that players would have to sign up for PlayStation Network in order to be able to play the game. This was particularly controversial because not only was it forcing players to have to sign up for a service they may not want, it also meant people who had bought Helldivers 2 in countries that did not have PlayStation Network available to them were going to be unable to play the game. This of course left a bad taste in the mouth of many players. There were requests for numerous refunds, and there was a massive campaign to turn out negative reviews for the game. These were ultimately successful, as it came out later that Sony and Helldivers 2 developers Arrowhead had reached a deal in which PlayStation Network links would be left optional. Despite their statement about this, no actual changes to the requirement seem to have been made in the recent. Also, the handling of the Discord conversation around this sensitive subject was not taken care of very well. Community moderators came under fire when there were complaints lodged on the Discord. Their handling of the situation and their rebuttals of people's arguments was not taken in good strides. Many of their statements came off as insulting and placating. They even went so far in some cases to recommend the breaking of Sony's terms of service to be able to play the game by using a VPN. Sony has also decided that it would continue to pull the game from countries in which PSN accounts were not available. But despite this controversy, I don't think it's the actual reason why we're seeing these numbers slide. As you can see, player count was already declining significantly from April all the way until this month. The main problem I think Helldivers has is A, lack of innovation, and B, still being a slight buggy mess. We're nearly 6 months in, and people are still complaining of bugs that cause them to be kicked from missions, kicked from lobbies, having strange errors with the enemies that cause them to die in the mission, having strange errors where their bodies or heads do not show up as their character. By 6 months in, honestly, these kinds of bugs should be fixed by now, especially the bugs that kick you from missions. These kinds of frustrations are what drive most normie gamers away from games, not controversies. Furthermore, Helldivers 2 has a problem of promising more than it seems to deliver. Since its release, Helldivers 2 has been teasing large-scale upgrades. In the past few months from launch, they have teased the inclusion of vehicles, the inclusion of new giant enemies. They've even teased a whole brand new enemy faction, the Illuminate. And all we keep getting from the developers essentially is, it's coming, it will be soon. But nothing has still been put out. The only thing they seem to be releasing in terms of DLC are cosmetics or weapons. There's been some slight upgrades to enemies here and there, and the introduction of the giant walker enemies for the robots. But other than this, the base game is still quite similar to how it was at launch. It's starting to seem that Helldivers 2 has champagne wishes but a beer budget. And this was a game that was heralded as a Fortnite killer. It was heralded as the new grand online service game that friends were going to continue to play for years to come. But with a massive decline of nearly a quarter to 50% in players over the last 3 months, I think it's time for Helldivers to either launch a massive upgrade or start to panic. Now, Helldivers 2, of course, is already a financial success, and it's far from the bleak oblivion of games like Redfall or Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. But if it doesn't grow and it doesn't evolve quickly, you might see an even further decline in players to where Helldivers 2 becomes nearly irrelevant. If Helldivers 2 wants to remain relevant, they have to adapt and upgrade quickly. They have to show us why fighting for democracy against bugs and robots is more important than fighting with my friends as Darth Vader and the Ninja Turtles in Fortnite. But those are just my thoughts on the state of Helldivers. If you have your own thoughts, feel free to leave them in the comments. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. If you didn't like this video, I appreciate you listening this long, and we'll talk to you again later.